O'Brien.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Someone said in the den, I wish Obi-Wan were here. Yeah, same, because this is wild, and I know his takes would be fantastic on this. Take a look at Bitcoin. We'll talk about this in a second. We have the SPY. I mean, man, you're trading off 5.47% right now, okay? Trading at 507.30. You know, there's so much uncertainty right now. This is people getting very kind of scared, I think. You know, I was looking at this earlier, like 521 today, and I was like, man, maybe I should buy some like zero, data expirations, would have been in the money at that moment when I bought it. I think it was a strike of like 522. And I was like, man, I don't want to. And I kind of wish I did. But, the way that I'm kind of learning through, like my trading journey and everything is I don't really have much exposure to anything right now, which is nice, very like cash heavy. And so I'm not sweating in any capacity. If you're thinking of getting in, just keep your stops tight, right? We're going to take a look at some things that are doing well today, maybe why they're doing well. Do we get some continuation into Monday on things like this? And then we can see, again, some equities. There's two things going on, right? There's some selling pressure because of tariff, and then some selling pressure because of the fear of recession. And of course, those are kind of linked with each other to some capacity. Anyways, we'll talk about this as we get to it. We have the SPY trading off 5.44% at 507.45. You have the composite trading off 5.56% at 15,632, with the Dow Jones Industrial off nearly 2,047 points, trading at 38,503, and you get the Russell futures. I mean, listen, if these tariffs stay and you start seeing some major players like China not kind of acquiesce to this and place counter tariffs on us, like actual reciprocal tariffs, small businesses are going to get squashed. They just are, especially if you're trying to get, you're importing things from overseas and you start seeing some reciprocal tariffs from these countries, it's not going to be good for them in any capacity. I know there's some argument that maybe these tariffs might be good for small businesses. And I think a lot of that depends on sector, I suppose, but it's not going to be that clean in any capacity. What is very interesting is the dollar is up 1.22%. Okay, you have what is the 10-year trading at right now? It's probably ticking up a little bit, I would think here. No, you're off so you're at 3.999. You're right under 4%. A lot of people are saying they're trying to pressure the Fed into lowering rates right now. I don't think the Fed is going to lower rates. I don't see a reason why they should lower rates. I don't think these guys, at least in the immediate, I don't even think the executive branch cares about the stock market right now. I mean, you had Besant say again, this sounds like a Mag 7 problem, not a MAGA problem. I think you had artificially low kind of 10-year rates here because you had so many people getting out of equities over the past few days and, into safer assets, right? That's what I think you're kind of seeing with the 10-year, the price of it going up. So, I mean, yeah, we're hanging right around 3.998%. I don't remember a time, I think I was 12 in 2008, where you had a massive kind of disjunction between the 10-year and the Fed, where the 10-year yield was lower than the Fed fund rate, right? And again, I think that's that conversation. They're going to pressure Jerome Powell. And it's like Jerome Powell's goal, and he has reiterated this even today, he has reiterated this multiple times, is to make sure that the economy goes well and to keep inflation down, right? And he just stated that he believes there is a chance that inflation will increase with the tariffs, right? There's this other kind of narrative going around that tariffs are actually deflationary. And it's like, if they completely just squash demand, then yes, of course that's deflationary. But the direct result of a tariff is going to be inflationary, right? And if some of these things are on like inelastic goods, you're going to continue to pay more prices, right? Or higher prices. So again, none of these things are just super clean, right? And so what it seems like, I what I think is probably going to happen with the Fed is they're going to wait to see when these tariffs are actually imposed, what the price hike is going to be, and is that going to be an initial immediate shock that kind of plateaus from there, or do you, get continual price increases? And to be fair, it's not really clear. I think a lot of people are saying 100% what's going to happen. It's like, nah, this is all part of the plan or whatever it might be, but I don't think that's clear at all, right? And I can give you an example of why I think it's really not clear, because most people then anticipate what those the tariffs that were released. That is not what a lot of people thought they were going to be whatsoever, hence this kind of sell-off, right? I mean, you had a slow sell-off, right, for a while. Of course, you had issues with the yen carry trade unwinding, or fear behind that. You did have some fear of inflation ticking up with the tariffs being imposed, but I mean, nobody was talking about tariffs this way, right? And again, what they're talking about and what they're calling tariffs are just an existent deficit. Yeah, that was completely out of left field in a major way. And so I don't think you can say for certain 100% what the result of these things are going to be. We do know tariffs are inflationary. That much we do know. The Fed is thinking about it this way as well. And I don't think they're in a rush to cut rates to make the Fed fund rate meet up with the 10-year yield. And that's going to be an issue if you get a tick up again in the 10-year yield. I mean, you're going to have problems with some of these housing guys, okay? So, I mean, Tommy called me and we were talking about this. It's very interesting. You have Toll Brothers up right now. You have Lennar that's up now. They're giving back a little bit, okay? Toll is probably about 3.15% before I started, and you have Toll trading off 2.81%. Take a look at Lennar. They're up 3.05%, but this is a little bit lower than what they were trading at earlier today. Look, I mean, the 10-year's ticking above 4% right now. And that's not because people think this is getting better. It's because they know the Fed's probably not going to lower the rates. Anyways, we'll see what happens here. This is crazy. We're getting some buying at the end of the day as well. Yeah, okay, you're ticking up. You're at 510 right now in the SPY, giving a little bit back from that loss. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back. We have just some more to talk about. Stay right there.